Ron DeSantis, in a new report that's come out from Vanity Fair, apparently takes shots pretty aggressively at Donald Trump behind the scenes. Now, this isn't shocking. We've seen pretty much everyone who's a Trump ally actually hates him behind the scenes. But it's funny because it's kind of building to a possible 2024 primary battle between the two of them. So you have Donald Trump, who also goes all the time in private against Ron DeSantis and hates the fact that Ron DeSantis is becoming popular among the Republican Party. So we'll take a look at some highlights from this. But as, happens from time to time, this is just too extensive of an article. It actually breaks down the whole rise of Ron DeSantis, but I'll link it in the description below. If you're watching this on YouTube, Vanity Fair article, very interesting, goes through all the nuts and bolts of how Ron DeSantis became someone who's being floated by a lot of people as a possible 2024 primary challenger of Donald Trump. But the interesting part that I want to extract from it and talk about that Mediaite highlighted was this. So we'll read a little bit from it. While DeSantis and the former president are already locked in a 2024 Cold War, the smackdown has been unfolding off camera. According to a former DeSantis congressional staffer, DeSantis trashes Trump in private. He calls him, this is the former staffer speaking, he calls him a TV personality and a moron who has no business running for president. The former staffer said, DeSantis tells donors that if he takes on Trump, he would launch a full frontal attack, and this is the most interesting part to me, a full frontal attack on his record and competence, according to a GOP source briefed on the conversations. Quote, DeSantis says the only way to beat Trump is to attack him head on. Now, this is something we haven't even seen anything close to from DeSantis thus far. He is still 100%, trying to paint himself as being pretty much on Trump's side on everything, pretty much being a Trump ally. He, of course, built his entire, excuse me, guys, sorry, I'm getting the burps. He built his entire gubernatorial run around the fact that he absolutely loved Donald Trump. If you remember, he was a congressman running for governor of Florida and put out that incredibly cringy ad going, I am so pro-Trump, you wouldn't even believe it. And this is how I'm going to show you an ad, reading Trump books to my child and, propagandizing my child into loving Trump. It was super strange. But that's how he built his entire gubernatorial run, was the fact that he was so pro-Trump. This is his sentiment behind the scenes. And he's saying that if he ran against Trump, which means he's considering it, according to this former staffer, he would go after him. It wouldn't be, hey, listen, you did some good things and I love the movement you started and, America first, but I'm just running on my own merits. No, it would be, I'm running on my own merits. And also, what merits does DeSantis have? But that's what he would say. And also, Trump is absolutely horrible, which is fascinating. And I hope that happens. Continuing on. Trump, meanwhile, vents about DeSantis constantly, according to people who speak with him. Trump's animus is fueled by his belief that he put DeSantis in the governor's mansion, which I think he probably did. In conversations, Trump reminds people that then Congressman DeSantis was losing by double digits during the 2018 gubernatorial primary until Trump backed him. Sources said it galls Trump that DeSantis hasn't acknowledged the boost Trump provided aside from a cursory acknowledgement in his victory speech. That's hilarious. Trump tells people, I made Ron, a prominent Republican told Vanity Fair. Trump says that about a lot of people, but in this case is actually true. And again, I actually do agree with both things there, that Trump needs credit all the time about any little thing that he does, even if the, outcome of whatever he did actually isn't that significant. But in this case, I do think his support of DeSantis was significant because that was the platform of DeSantis, was I'm super pro-Trump. So to see this rivalry maybe start building and developing is very, very fascinating. And as we talk about all the time, the best thing for the left is for the right to tear themselves apart, right? And so if DeSantis could get himself to run and Trump also chooses to run and they rip each other in half, and by the time the general comes around, there's too many people who are DeSantis ride or die or Trump ride or die, and so whichever one loses, the other supporters don't come out to vote for the one who ended up winning. That would be hugely beneficial for the Democratic Party. Now, I don't know if DeSantis has the political skill to do, as he called, a full frontal attack on, or a head-on attack of Trump. I really don't. Trump is, as with the gazillions of horrible flaws about him, he is good at attacking people, right? He does the name calling, and for some reason it sticks. And he definitely did that in the 2016 primary, where he just took down every one of those Republican primary challengers. And so someone pretty effective politically and effective being a bully themselves would have to go against him. And I don't know if DeSantis would be able to do that, but we will see. Very, very fascinating stuff taking place on that side of the aisle.